Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're looking at today is 9.5, connect the dots. So what we're looking at here is estimating the line of best fit. So we want to examine the scatter plot below. Imagine that you drew a straight line through the general pattern of the points, keeping as close as possible to all the points, with as many points above the line as below. Predict a possible y-intercept and slope for the line you imagined. So if we actually draw this line trying to take and keep it as close as possible, it'd be, my line's not going to be straight, but something like this. Obviously my line's a little crooked, but this would be the approximate line of our data here. Now, the y-intercept, notice we're crossing right around 102. Obviously my line's a little off, but about 102 would be a decent y-intercept for this data. The points obviously are really close. Some of them are a little above, so you could say anywhere between 101 and 104 would be pretty acceptable. And then the slope. So what kind of slope is this having? Well, we're going down to, from here, we'd go down to and over about 5. So about a negative 2/5 slope. So the key thing is it has to be a negative slope because this is going down and to the right. So obviously we sketched this line. Now you're going to write the equation for it based on the fact that you have the slope and the y-intercept. So you guys will do that part. All right. The next section is looking at correlation coefficients. So the larger the correlation coefficient, the closer together our data points are. So it also, if we have a negative, so like on this last one, our data was going in a negative direction, our correlation coefficient would also be negative. So, 3 is negative and let's see, 4 is looking to be rather negative. And also, now, this one kind of is all over the place. There's kind of a trend going down, but then it comes back up. But I will tell you, 8 is going to be negative. So notice how far apart all these points are on 8. If we look back at these, we need one that's pretty decently far apart. Now, based on the scale, they're not super far apart compared to one of the others, but it is kind of going in a negative direction. So it's not going to be the 0.05. It's actually going to be F because it's going in that somewhat negative direction. So this one is F. Now, on 6, notice how close together these are. These are real close together, and they're going in a positive direction. So we want to find the largest coefficient, or correlation coefficient that's positive. Well, that's going to be B. So this is B. So you guys will do the same thing for the rest of these. So look at what's negative, what's positive, and focus on how spread out these points are. Okay. So correlation is your keyword for this lesson, correlation. All right, the last section, follow the prompt to sketch the graph of the line on the same grid with the given characteristics. So this one is asking for a greater slope. So what that means is the line needs to be positive and it needs to be steeper than the given line. So this line has a slope of, let's see, up 1 over 1, 2, 3. It's got a 1/3 slope. Something steeper than that would be a 3 slope. Make it perpendicular. I mean, that'll make it steeper. So starting anywhere, it doesn't matter where we start our graph at. We're going up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3. So this line, I'm going to attempt to draw. It's a little wavy. Whoops. Sorry. So there would be our line that has a steeper slope. A lesser slope, so notice this has a slope of 0, which means the slope needs to be negative. So you need to make a line that has a negative slope. For 10, you have to change the y-intercept, so make sure it's bigger, and have a lesser slope, which means it should be steeper, but in a negative direction. And then for this one, you're finding the perpendicular, that opposite reciprocal. So find the slope and do the opposite reciprocal of it. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.